Excellent. Here we go. Okay. So I just wanted to let you know that I am recording the first session just because there are a couple people that couldn't be on, and that way they can see this, because the first session is the absolute most important session of the seminar. And what happens is when it's recorded on Zoom, you will only see like the speaker once it's recorded. If you feel uncomfortable seeing your face on the screen, you're more than welcome to turn off your camera. It's like in the bottom left, it will say like, you know, camera, you can turn it off. I love seeing people's faces. However, you know, I am going to record just this session. I will not record session number 2, and I will not record session number 3, because the first session is kind of like you working on your own, walking through the process, getting ready for the actual vision boarding, which we will then do next week. And I will give you all the tools that you need. So just bear with me and enjoy the journey. I am Cecilia Wyman. I am German. I grew up in Germany, have lived in the US now for 20 years almost. And I teach Spanish, which is kind of ironic, I guess. However, I love languages, and I have been working with vision boards for more than 6 years now, and have realized that they are a super powerful tool for creating a future in which you are a little more in charge of what you want to do with your life. Some people, especially in this situation, feel a little stuck, unsure, don't know where they're going, and a vision board is an opportunity for you to become a little more clear on what you want in your life. It doesn't matter which area of your life. That is a very, very personal experience and very personal journey, and I'm very grateful that you are having the courage to join this journey with me. My intention is to just inspire you and make you think about where you are currently in your life and where you want to be in 6 months, in a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years from now, and just starting that conversation with yourself and maybe the people that are on this journey with you. The first session today is me walking you through all kinds of questions, and you just thinking about the answers and starting to write things down. What are kind of answers to those questions for yourself, and don't overthink it. Just write down things that come to mind right away. So the only thing you basically need is a piece of paper and a pen or a notebook or some sort. And the people that have done the survey that I had sent out, I know that some of you have never done a vision board. Some of you have done one vision board. So there's nobody that has done, like, so far from what I had seen. And you can write that in the chat if you haven't done the survey yet and you've done more vision boards. But a vision board can be done at any point in your life. It doesn't have to be in January, because a lot of times people start in January, like they have these incredible goals, like this is all the things I want to achieve this year. Now I'm going to create a vision for my life. But you can do it at any point, at any time. You can do more than one a year. There is no right or wrong answer. And that's what I really want you to keep in mind. While we're doing this, there is no right or wrong answer. This is a very personal journey, and that's what we're going on. Why would you want to create one for yourself? I mentioned that a little bit. Think about where you are right now. Are there areas in your life that you're stuck in? Are there areas that you would like to improve? Are there areas you have no clue what to do with? That is kind of the journey that we are going on with this. Okay, I gotta use this. Okay, now, throughout this whole process, I would love for you to think about, wouldn't it be cool if? Through these whole questions, wouldn't it be cool if? And I'm going to come back to that question, but that's kind of like the overarching theme that I want you to envision and think about while I'm walking you through this set of questions. And I'll open it up at the end for questions. And like I said, the questions I'm giving you, you will have them afterwards. I will email them to you. So you will have the opportunity to reflect and come back to those questions. So you don't have to worry about that at this moment. I mentioned that a little bit already, right? It makes you think about what you really want. It can help you get unstuck. And I don't know if you have experience, but how powerful pictures really are. When you have a vision board, you want to create something that you can put somewhere where you can see it every single day. There is this expression, I don't know if you guys have heard about it, what you think about, you bring about. So when you are seeing something and you are looking at it and thinking about it, now you're using already, like, you know, more than one of your senses. And when you're seeing something, it kind of triggers your subconscious to get ready to explore different things. I want you to think of the questions like, okay, a vacation. I can't afford a vacation. That is telling your brain there is no way that you can afford a vacation. If you're asking, how can I afford a vacation? All of a sudden your brain has an opportunity to start thinking outside of the box. And this is kind of like what a vision board is all about. And I hope that this gets you fired up, and it's supposed to be fun. Okay, this is not a chore. This is not a graduate class. This is not a pass or fail class where I'm going to give you an A+ or a C-. This is supposed to be your personal journey and having fun with it. I'd like you to, while we're doing this, release your limitations. And what I mean by that is, when you're answering these questions, don't think about when this is going to happen, okay? If you're thinking about your career, if you're thinking about retirement, if you're thinking about your kids going off to college, if you're thinking about how you are going to pay off your own college debt, I don't know in what situation you are personally in, but when you're answering these questions, do not think about like this will be done in a month or 6 months or a year or 2 years. No time limit, okay? Don't think about the how. No matter how outrageous the things are you're writing down, don't even worry about the how. And relationships. Don't think about the current relationships you have right now. There might be tension in your family, there might be tension in your relationships, there might be tension with friends. Don't think about any of that. This is just, and I think, Janet, I think, is it all? I mean, are we all women on here? I don't know. But I think a lot of times for women, we think about everybody else. And if there are guys who are on here, I don't know if you relate, but we always think about everybody else. So this vision boarding is your journey with you. If you have friends on there, you know, their journey and working together, but this is your time. And I'm grateful that you're taking that for yourself. Here we are again. Ask yourself, wouldn't it be cool if? Here comes your first task. Write down at least 15 things, okay? Doesn't have to be complete sentences. Anything that comes to mind. Wouldn't it be cool if, and remember, there is no time rationale, when, how it's gonna happen, your relationships. And if you have more than 15, go. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. I'm gonna see if I can turn on some music, but I'm not sure, because then I have to stop this, which I didn't really want to do. Nope. I'm gonna go back. Sorry about this. Like, I should just not, I can't do go back. You just keep writing. Nope. Oh, that did that. I didn't want to do that either. Janet, how are we doing? Everybody doing okay? Can you hear that? Yes? Okay. I'll give you another minute. Okay, so there is my timer. Now, leave a little space because later maybe more things will come to mind. It's just to get kind of like your juices flowing, and I am not going to ask you to share anything. Like I said, this is a very personal experience. Maybe at the end, if somebody wants to share like a thing or two, absolutely. But again, like this is your vision board. This is your thinking. So I'm not going to ask you to do that. And we are going to go on to the next. Okay, here we go. Now, when I do this, sometimes I have kids on as well. So on the left side, you will see the questions for children if they're on. And remember, you don't have to write down the questions. So just write down number 1, 2. And on the right side are the questions for you. So I want you to focus on those first 2 questions, okay? So looking back at your list or something else that comes to mind, what is one outrageous, I put it in quotation marks, outrageous things you could do for yourself this year? And what do you enjoy doing that you haven't done in a really long time? Think about those things. And again, it can be a list, words. Nobody has to be able to read it but yourself. And I'll give you a little bit of time. Okay, again, feel free to add to that down the road, leave a little bit of space. We're gonna move on. So I wanna make sure that we get through the thing and get through all the questions. And again, this is going to be a process. Maybe tonight before you go to bed, something else will pop into your head, you know, or maybe tomorrow morning something will happen that triggers a memory or something that you want to write down. And again, no right or wrong, just you. Number 3, when was the last time you bought yourself blank? For me, flowers. And I actually started doing that more frequently. To start just thinking about, you know, when was the last time you did something for yourself? Because those things are important and it doesn't have to be something extravagant. So I want you to think about those things like that you are important and making time for that. And where do I wish to travel? Again, don't worry about the how or the when. We're right now just putting out thoughts. Okay, if you want to finish whatever you're writing right now. I have a long list of where I would like to travel. One of them is Machu Picchu and Barcelona, Spain. Totally on my bucket list. I was supposed to go this summer to Spain. However, this whole thing kind of decided that I'm going to be US bound. So if you want to put in your chat one of your places that you would love to travel to, you can totally do that. Because I think it's always super inspiring to see where people would like to go. And there's the chat. Okay, now I can see the chat. Cool. All right, I see that some of you have put your email addresses for me. All right, Rocky Mountains, yes. Greece, all right. Okay, oh, how cool is that? Yeah, I would go to a beach in Sicily that has your maiden name. Uh-huh. Argentina, oh, Janet, we can go together. I can be a translator. You want to pay for my flight ticket? This is fabulous. Awesome. Okay, you were planning, Spain 3 months. Yeah, all things are on hold. But again, just, put it on there. I've never been, well, I've only been to Canada, like the Niagara Falls and then the Canadian side. That's pretty much all I've done so far. Very cool. Thanks for sharing, everybody. Love it. Okay, ready for the next? Here we go. What type of job, work, activity would you like to do every day? Okay, anything is possible. Remember, no worrying about the how. What's something, an activity or a job or a work that you would like to do every single day? And what does your perfect day look like? Feel like, taste like, smell like? How would you spend your time? I'm going to give you 3 minutes for that because that's one that could be probably a whole book. If you think you're done, I think you can write more. That's the teacher in me. Really, really, really be, I don't know. I don't want to use the word outrageous because it sounds kind of like negative, but it could be volunteering. I don't know. That's something I think about a lot. Couple more seconds. Okay, all right. So again, you can always come back later and add more of what comes up and what you're thinking about. And we're going to go on to the next set of questions. What people do you want to spend most or more of your time with? Okay, there's two parts of that question. And what do you wish you had more time for? What people you want to spend most or more of your time with? And what do you wish you had more time for? Oh, my timer went off. Okay, I'm trying to stay on track. River cruise. Oh, auf den Danube. Yeah, das ist Danube. The river Danube in German is die Donau. That's how you say it in German. Yes, I would like that too, like going from city to city. I'm just looking at the chat. So I'm going to go on to the next. And again, I know I said it like 3 times, but I just want you to think about whatever comes to mind, and you can always add later. You don't have to remember all the questions because I will email them to you afterwards. If you gave me your email address in the chat, then I can do that later, and then you can add to it while you're thinking about your vision board that we'll be creating next week. What are the things you'd like to have? Okay, professionally and personally. Again, list. Nobody's going to read the list but you. What kind of people would you like to surround yourself with in your life? Okay, so that's earlier we said, like, you know, the people that you already know that you want to spend more or most of your time with. Now this number 10 is a little different. It's asking you, like, what kind of people would you like to surround yourself with? And if you have specific people in mind that maybe are not in your life yet, that is something too that you could be writing down. And what amount of money do you want to have? Like, really? I know we say money is not important, but I have to say it's kind of like oxygen. You need to survive. And when you have more money, you can do more and you can give more. And it opens up more possibilities. So I really want to think about that opportunity. You know, what kind of money would make your life a more positive life so you can be a better version of yourself and help yourself and the people around you. 3 questions, 3 minutes. challenge you to write more. There are about 30 seconds left. Hey, everybody had an opportunity? Yes, write some things down. Again, some of the questions might resonate more with you and you can be writing down like a lot of things, and others you may be like, I'm not really sure what to write. Nothing comes to mind. Again, that might happen later, and that's okay. Okay. Now, things I love about my life. Because what happens with figuring out your future is being grateful for what you have currently. So I want you to list all the things that you are right now in your life that bring you joy. And things that you want to do. I know we had written down like travel list earlier where you'd like to travel, but this is like, you know, kind of like a bucket list. And I don't mean just travel, anything and everything. As far as I know, we only have one life. Maybe there are more, I don't know. So I want to make it count, and I want you to make it count for yourself. So what are things that you want to do? And remember, first slide, limitations. No limitations. Just you and your imagination right now. Okay, so you can probably write a lot more. I want to value your time, however, and these were the questions I want you to consider. And as a next step, I'm going to give you some inspiration on actually creating a vision board. And then your job is, from now until next week, to think more about the questions, write things down, see if there's a certain theme that comes up, something like a specific area that keeps popping up that you want to focus on. Could be more than one area, and I'll give you some ideas for that as well at the end. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some examples of vision boards. And then after that, I'm also going to give you a list of ideas, what kind of vision board you could be using and what materials you could be using and where you can find the materials. And again, I will send all of that to you in an email afterwards with the questions, shopping list, so to speak, where to find things, so you don't have to, you know, write things down. But what I would encourage you is, like, if something pops into your head right now, write that down, because sometimes it's, you know, you have already stuff at home. I don't want you to be going out and spending like $50 or $60. No, this is like, you will be amazed how much you possibly already have at your home, at your disposal, that you could be using, okay? So time to get inspired. Here we go. Again, this is a reminder from the beginning. We saw that before. Have fun, right? If there is an area that came up in questions that you're kind of feeling stuck, you know, it helps you with the visualization. And just by thinking about it, once you go about your day for the next week, what happens is sometimes you'll see, I don't know, an ad somewhere that will trigger some words or pictures. And, you know, just kind of being open for that. Here is a vision board that a friend of mine did just this year. Again, there is no right or wrong answer. It can happen. I know a couple of people had written in the survey that it doesn't necessarily have to have a house on there and diamonds and travel. It could be more of an inspirational board that reminds you every day of who you want to be, what you want to aspire to. So it does not have to have things on it, okay? It could be a 3D, kind of like tangible things. Again, there is no right or wrong. The way you organize it, lots of pictures, just a couple of words. Whatever is meaningful to you, that's what it's all about. It doesn't have to make any sense to anybody else but you. Teenagers and kids can do vision boards too. I've done that before. So there is something, you know, just to give you an idea, they're using like a cork board with like push pins on it. That's a way to do it. Lots of pictures, doesn't matter how it's organized, right? This one has like words on the side and then pictures on the left. I mean, on the right side and the left side. Just something to get you started thinking about what would you like to create, right? They're using a poster board. Those you can get, I think, for $2 at the dollar store. Or maybe you have something at home already. Again, a cork board. And again, super personal words, expressions, pictures. If you're thinking about advertisements, and I'll give you a list later of, you know, like we get so much advertisement still in the mail that you could be just taking a few minutes and just browsing through things, and what pops into your eyes, so to speak, could be inspiring to be using. Anybody, like I said, little kids can have, doesn't have to have words on it. It's important to them. So it's a picture. People can be, you could, if you're an amazing artist and you want to draw things, you can do that too. I mean, you don't have to be an amazing artist, but I don't draw. Again, we had talked about words, what inspires you, what keeps you focused on the positive, because there's so much negativity out in the world that this is a way for you to focus on you, but also what you want of positivity in your life. This is mine actually, which is like literally like sitting right there. That is one of the vision boards I made, I think 5 years ago. It's not really a vision board if you're thinking about goals and a career goal of like how much money do you want to make, or what degree do you want to have. This is more a daily reminder, and it's literally right here, that tells me to, I don't know, I even have German on there, to just be the best version of myself and not give up, because it's sometimes really easy to get down on yourself and, you know, like want to like throw everything in the air because you've had a rough day. So having that as a board can be a reminder, and having it in a prominent place to just dust yourself off and keep moving forward. That is what is currently in my kitchen. And it's not really a vision board, as in like there are some goals on there, but for me, there are also things in the upper right. There are things that I'm proud of, because for me, one of my things is like, when was the last time you did something for the first time? So those are things that I have done last year as a reminder yes, you can do new things, and some of the things are scary, but they're doable. Like I shaved my head for charity. I finally started running and did a 5K. My family, again, I am a lot about words. And again, it doesn't have to make sense to anybody. It is a big board and it's very prominent in my kitchen, so I can see it every single day as a reminder for myself. Now, when you are looking for materials, okay, you would be amazed what you might already have at home. Again, I'm going to send you this list, so you don't have to write it down, but I want you to think about it. And if something actually pops into your head that you know you already have, then maybe I would write it down, okay? So at home, you could be using an old picture frame. Big, small, doesn't matter. Poster board, cork board, foam board, those science trifolds. I know they're really big, but you could make them smaller. I actually have one that's like, yeah, the whole thing is on there. If you have old catalogs, calendars, like if you have an old calendar, that is often used because it has pictures on it that you can cut out, has words sometimes on it. Old notebooks, inspirational calendars, even old books. Like I've even used old books. Probably not a good thing to say, but I mean, whatever it takes, right? Scissors, glue. I know some people had asked for what type of glue. I'm not quite sure. I think it kind of depends what you're using. I usually use like just a roll-on, like not Elmer glue, not the liquid one, just the regular one for my regular poster board. So it's kind of like, you know, like for the one I have in the kitchen, that's all push pins. So I don't know if there's really a right or wrong answer. But tape is really good to have, because what you can do is while you're working, you can put tape on the back of your pictures to arrange it. So you don't glue it down right away. And later you're like, oh, okay, let me think about where I want to put it. And then you can switch things. As if you're like gluing it down right away, then it's kind of done and in place. Scrapbooking items. If you were a scrapbooker, okay, or if you like, you know, like letters, you can also find them at Michael's in the sales aisle. Some expressions or pictures that you have, advertisement that are coming to your house, old greeting cards. If you have old greeting cards, like I'm a hoarder for cards, where you could be cutting out words or pictures. Obviously, you can also print out things. You don't have to print out anything. You could all just write with markers. Like I said, there's no right or wrong answer of what you are going to create. Now, when you're out and about, you could be going to your library and see if they have any old magazines, or ask some friends, send a text message to 5 friends and be like, hey, making a vision board, do you have any old catalogs I can have? I'm only going to take 5 from each, or I don't know. So otherwise, like I have like 2 boxes of catalogs in my basement now. Local businesses, a restaurant, your hairdresser, they always have magazines there, just saying. If you're going to a spa place or even Home Depot, you know, just like be out and about and start looking for things. My secret weapon is the dollar store. You can go into the school aisle. You can find all kinds of stickers and glittery things, poster boards. I went actually the other day, they already have calendars for the new year, which are $1. So maybe there's one and they have like, you know, expressions and pictures and things like that. So that might be something that triggers you. So in the chat, I want you to tell me, like, what's one thing that you think like you already have at home? 1 or 2 things that you think you already have that you can put in the chat for us, so we can be like, oh yeah, I might have that too. What's something that maybe you already have? And glue sticks, okay. Scrapbooking glue, okay. Colored paper, yes. Oh my God, I should add that. Yep. Markers and stamps, glue sticks, magazines, okay. Awesome. Tape, yep. That's a good one. A sketchbook, yes. One of my vision boards was actually a book, like a book where I put everything in. What's a little difficult with that is like like when I go into my kitchen, I see my board all the time. But like if you have a vision book, it's something that you have to put either, I would suggest, by your bedside. So when you wake up in the morning, take a couple minutes to look at it, and then a couple minutes before you go to bed, because that's when your brain really works subconsciously when you're sleeping to help you. So vision book can also work. Travel brochures, yes. Old frames, good. Greeting cards, awesome. Yay, okay, so I hope that's helping. Now here is another shopping list just to give you, you know, other ideas of what I already said. A photo of yourself, if you have one, or print them out. Family, people that are important to you, you can draw them. Can be stick figures with names on it. I mean, I don't really care. Snack, yes. So next week, maybe bring a snack for when we'll actually be doing the goal setting cheat sheet. Well, maybe if you have certain goals. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about that also in my car. Suggestions. Dash vision board. Let me think about that. You could probably have something in your car, but it can't distract you. So maybe something really small that you can put on your visor, and then when you put your visor down and then make it a routine when you get in and out of the car to flip it down and look at it, maybe? I'll have to think about that. Maybe if anybody else has ideas. A visor vision board, right? Why not? Yeah, I mean, on my dashboard, if you're in my car where it says the speedometer, I mean, you can see how fast I'm going. That I can see. But on the left, like I have a little sticky note and it says smile on it. And it makes me smile every single time. So if you have just a little something like even just like a powerful quote to remind you every day of what you want to focus on, mindfulness word of the day, yep, and put it on your board. From your board, yes, I like it. Awesome. You see, this is teamwork. I like this a lot. Now, here are some people are always thinking like, oh, I don't really know what to focus on. I answered all these questions. I want you to start thinking about like a theme, okay? Are there certain areas, like you could be thinking about your family, your finances, your spiritual well-being, your professional, like your career, something about culture, social, health, partner. There is no right or wrong answer. I've had people that focus just on one area, one alone, because think about which one area, if I improve that, would affect everything else. Okay, so if you're thinking about your health, okay, when I'm healthier, I will have more energy, I will sleep better, I'll be less grumpy with my family, I will be able to focus more on what I'm doing, I'll be able to be more in the moment. So focusing on my health would affect all kinds of other areas in my life. Do you see what I mean, kind of? Or like I do is like I usually divide up my board and then I'm okay, here's my family, what's important, here's for my career and my passions, and here's for like, you know, friendship and relationships, because I was told I'm a collector of people. So does it seem surface when you look back at notes and thoughts? Yes, I would think so. When you're looking back, that's why I ask you to write things down. You know, you can use even like colored pens and circle and highlight and start thinking like, okay, what are certain things maybe that came up asking those questions? What are things that I want to focus more on, that I want to ask again? Yes. So when you're looking back at your notes, maybe a theme will come up. And if not, that's okay too. All right, I think that's it. Okay, perfect. Now I can actually stop sharing. So I get to see you all again. Yay! All right. Now, I walked you through the questions. I gave you some ideas on what to collect. And now, from now until next week, so next Thursday, we're going to meet again. That's when we're actually going to start making the vision board. Okay? So from now until next week, I want you to start collecting materials, start going back to the questions for yourself. You all have my email, so you can email me if you're stuck with something, if you have questions. I'm more than happy to try to guide you, steer you in the right direction. And again, there is no right or wrong answer, right? This is your vision board. This is what you would like to create. Is it more like an affirmation board? Is it something like for your career, for your personal life? No right or wrong answer there. And I would like to also, wait, I gotta look at the chat. My emails, okay. All right, Yes, thanks, Anna. Yep, I saw that you answered the survey. And I would like to open it up for some questions because some of you may have questions. Anything pretty much goes that you're maybe confused about, that you'd like to know more about, that you want to prepare for next time. So what I'm going to do next time is like kind of just walk you through again, like giving you some more ideas of what to do. And for us to do maybe some check-in, so to speak, but the actual vision boarding, working on your own, you are going to be working on your own. You don't have to share it with me, but I will leave this chat open for a while so you can have the community. And I would love to put you into little groups, like smaller groups of people. So you can, while you're working on your vision board, you can kind of like have people that you can chat with. So if you are on with somebody, with your friends, or let's say your friends are not on today, but they want to join you next week, let me know, have them email me so I can send them the recording from today so they can walk through the process themselves by next week. And then what I can do is like, they're called breakout rooms. So I'm going to put you into a breakout group with like, either if it's just your friends, with you in a group, or with a couple other people. So you have somebody where you can bounce ideas off of each other while you're working, or just have somebody you chat with and get to know each other. I think everybody is kind of like in the US that's here. So maybe even on the East Coast. So, you know, maybe it will give you an opportunity to get to know somebody and just get through the process a little bit. And then the third session is going to be like aha moments and show and tell, and you don't have to show your board, but maybe some aha moments that came. And I would like to give you a head start on like kind of like a roadmap. Now that you created the vision board and you kind of know what's important to you and what you'd like to achieve, now we can start. I'm giving you some tips and tricks on how to actually now take the first action steps to put it all into place. Okay, now I did all of the talking and I'm really good because I have 5 minutes left. I would love for you guys, I mean, we can go over, but I'd love for you to say if you have any questions. I'm going to look in the chat. Janet, anything that I need to be aware of? Okay, Lillian, okay, you're doing it. Okay, your daughter, nice.
Somebody asked if there was if we could recommend a book on manifestation or inspiration, little quotes. And I said we would think about it. We could get back to them before we recommended anything. I forget who it was. Sorry.
Oh, Kim, it was you.
Okay.
What do you mean, like for a book that has inspirational quotes in it, or something for you to read?
I was just wondering, just from your own personal experience, if there was a website or a book you'd recommend for us to look at over the week to think about for inspiration or manifestation. If there's so many YouTube and so many websites, I just didn't know if you found one in particular that you enjoyed that you'd recommend for us to look at.
Not on the top of my head, because like when I do this, I just kind of like, you know, I go through the same kind of questions that I ask you guys, and then I'm just like open and out in the world and kind of, and it may sound strange, but now that I put these questions down, it's usually amazing all the things that come up. And I know one of you in the responses had written like, you know, that they were, all these words just came up today while they were thinking. Was that you, Kim?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So that was so powerful. I loved reading that, because now that we started this, you'll be amazed, like, and just go kind of like with your intuition, which we often don't do. Like if there's a word that tugs at you, or you're at your bookshelf and all of a sudden there's a book that you see the title of and you pull it out and there's a quote in there, you know, for me, I like going, to Michael's, because like for the scrapbooking, they sometimes have like all these like stickers with inspirational things on there, or calendars, but like a book. I'll think about it if I think of something that comes up, but I don't have anything in particular. I had a friend, like when I go to Germany and even here, like calendars, like, you know, there's 365 days of positivity or things like that. Ask maybe your friends. Do you have an old calendar with inspirational quotes on it? You'd be surprised, you know, that somebody has one.
The other thing too, I think, which you'll become more aware of during the week, now that you've been giving some thoughts to frame your thinking, is that you might start seeing things repetitively that you didn't notice before, that you might notice now and pay more attention to that and go, wow, that like could be some kind of a message that I need to be thinking about and bringing in. So kind of think about that kind of stuff too while you're going through the week. Does something rise to the surface more frequently than other things to help, sort of dig in and think about what are the things that are you want to manifest and what are most important to you. Mm-hmm. And I really think as you start to think about that, things will pop up, and then just jot them down, like bring a little notebook with you. And then over time, the week you can start thinking about, well, how can I put that into my board? Or, what would that look like if I were trying to share that on my board? So.
Yeah, totally. Yes. Like I said, like I have had people that literally while they were thinking throughout the week and decided to only focus on health. That could be one thing. Like I've talked to, I teach Spanish, so I teach 7th and 11th grade currently. And the 11th graders I have done or encouraged them to do their own vision boards because they have I'm like, it's okay to not know what you want to do when you grow up, what you want to be when you grow up. And a lot of times when I start asking them questions, they're just thinking, like we know about teachers and doctors and nurses and lawyers, but there is so much out there. So by just like starting to think about what's important to them, same with you are ready to retire or you are retired, like how can you make a difference? How do you want to make a difference? I think all of us want to, I don't know, I'm assuming, but like we want to help and we want to be not important for ourselves, but important to help other people and create certain things and just let that sizzle in your head, I guess, is like my suggestion for you all. And I like some feedback postcards. Oh my gosh, yes. Postcards. I have lots of postcards. That's a great idea. That is one thing that you could be using. I'd like to open it up again if you'd like to just even talk about like, okay, what was this like? Because I'm always curious to like, okay, are we feeling good? Are we nervous? Are we excited? Any of it is okay. It would be nice to get a little bit of feedback from myself. And please feel free to unmute yourself or type. That's up to you. But Mindy, yes.
Yeah, this was really great. This is really fun because it just kind of focused me and said, oh, gee, like, what do I really want to do? And I mean, we've had so much free time, but I realized I want more free time. I want to do this more. And as boring as it might sound, I like my days right now.
Yes, I know there's so many changes for a lot of people, and it opens up that thinking, right? And again, please write that down. How can I? Just write those 3 words down. Yeah. How can I? Instead of I can't afford a vacation and doing my roof, how can I do both? Okay? That's a book. Which one was it? The Either Or Mentality. I don't know. I think it's the military.
Well, even just having that flexible mindset that you think that you're willing to be able to change something that you're thinking about or pivot when something comes your way that you weren't expecting, and you don't have that mindset that this is just the way it's going to be, because you need to have that flexibility and mindset to be able to make changes in life that if anything we've all learned from this pandemic, life was not what we thought it was going to be, right? So, you found out that you want more free time. On that, how can you have that happen, right? Some people found out a lot of things about themselves in the last few months that we were not expecting any of that, and so now we need to live in a different frame of mind, going forward, and
the thing is
a better way, right?
Exactly, because I do a lot of research, I read a lot of personal growth books, and it's just like your brain cannot focus on negative and positive at the same time. It can only do one. So if you are focusing on something positive, something that brings you joy, You cannot at the same time worry about paying your bills. And I know nobody goes to bed worrying about wrinkles and things like that. We worry about bills. We worry about those kind of things. But the more you worry about, the more it will take up your day, and it will not give you the opportunity to go to the other side, the positive side. And I always think of upstream thoughts and downstream thoughts. If you need to go, that's good, cool too. But if you have a few more minutes, like, you know, upstream thought would be, I can't afford that. Upstream thought is, I'm too old. Upstream thought is, who would want me to do that? Upstream thought is, who do I think that anybody would do that for me or with me, right? A downstream thought is like, how can I figure this out? It's not even like a positive thought or something, but it's just like giving that little nudge towards not the negativity, but like kind of, you know, down. And I highly recommend meditation. I just started it myself, like through this whole pandemic. Just getting up in the morning, writing down 3 things you're grateful for, and a little piece of paper next to your bed. And then at the end of the day, write down 3 things you're grateful for at night. It is unbelievable how much of an impact it has had on my life, just doing that. Because when we are in a state of gratitude, we can't be angry, we can't be mad, we can't be upset. So just switching that a little bit. And I don't even know if any of you are angry or mad or sad, but I know I am. You know, luckily not every day, but when it happens, right? I'm trying to figure out ways to not let that get to me. But now I'm getting a little off topic. But maybe not, because a vision board is what, you know, what's important to you. And yeah, I am here for you. Email, please. Does everybody have my email? Does
Didn't you
everybody
send
have
us?
it?
I mean, I got the email from you with the survey on it.
It's pretty easy. It's really long, but it's really easy.
She's going to type it in the chat.
Yes.
Okay.
It's pretty long.
Because I
but
didn't
it's
get that
really-
survey.
Yeah, I will. Oh, I can send. Oh, Lily, I can send that to you. Like if you
Thank you.
you got me your email, right?
Yes, I sent you email.
Okay, cool. So it's basically, let's create tomorrow today. All one word, no apostrophe or anything, because emails don't allow that. At gmail.com. Let's create tomorrow today at gmail.com, because that's my passion. Not waiting until tomorrow, but taking steps today to make changes. If
Oh,
questions
I
come
just
up,
wanted to bring up something.
Uh-huh.
Mary, hi. So like, you know, I'm obsessed with Facebook, as are most people. And I found myself, you know, my feeds would get very negative and rancorous, and there'd be a lot of political arguments,
Yeah.
and I had to unfriend relatives and all kinds of things. And at the kind of the onset of the pandemic, where everyone seemed to be putting something very creative on Facebook, I just started to record myself singing. I'm a singer. I sing at church, and I do some small time professional singing and like a lot of different kinds of music. So I just started recording myself singing and posting it on Facebook
Oh my God.
every day. I mean, and it started, I did my first one on March 29th, and then I did one on March 31st, and then I did
Awesome.
one on April 2nd. And I have sung at least one song on Facebook every day since then. So I'm up to close to 150 songs. And it just,
And does it bring you joy? Does it bring you joy?
well, yeah, it brings me joy, and I'm really committed to continuing it. But it also, you know, instead of looking for the zinger political meme, which I, you know, sometimes still throw in there, my page is about my song, and I, you know, there's a core group of people who react to it and comment on it, but then every once in a while I'll see someone else who's never commented who says the songs mean so much to them.
Oh, yes. You
Um,
don't know that people are watching. I've had that happen time and again. And Janet and I have just talked about, because Janet has been on a health journey since, well, not just since January, but really since.
Really since January. And
Really?
my Facebook feed is a lot on my journey for being healthy. And I do a lot of Facebook Lives. And people don't comment on it. And then all of a sudden you'll be somewhere and they'll be like, I watch your video every time. You're doing great, whatever, you inspire me. And it's like, people are watching. They don't comment. But they're watching. So
is it Mary? Did you say?
Mary, yeah.
Okay. Well,
and
that's
enjoy,
awesome.
Mary.
So you guys can, even find each other, and that's the thing, like, just a little something to bring you joy and focus more on the good stuff, right? There's so, yeah, I'm not, yeah.
But it really just changed the whole focus of my feed from something that was, I don't know.
What it did was it changed the focus of your feed, but it changed the focus of your mind.
True,
It brought
yeah.
your
yeah,
mind
absolutely.
into a place that you found you have passion and you have joy, and it directed it into a more positive way. And that's the main thing, because it came from you.
Mhm.
And it's a journal of the time. It's a journal of the journey of my hair, which was quite short.
No, I finally got a haircut. I was like, oh my gosh. And then it was a crazy one, or
and a journey of the seasons. I mean, I started, the trees were bare, and then it became spring, and then it became summer, and then
transformation, right? And that's
then
kind of
the
what we're looking
winter.
for in these vision boards. It's kind of like a transformation for yourself, and it doesn't matter in what area you would like to have a transformation, and I think that's why I've been doing these vision boards now for numerous years, just to inspire people to figure out what's important to you, and then actually take action steps to make it happen. Because too many of us live the day to day in and day out, and you're like, whoa, another day is gone, whoa, another week is gone, another month is gone, another year is gone. And I'm on a mission to stop that, to make people
Make you more
maybe not
mindful.
happier, but pardon?
To make them more mindful, make people
Yeah.
mindful.
And
Yeah.
I appreciate every single one of you for taking the time tonight. And I hope to see you again next time. Make sure, if you think I don't have your email address, that you email me to letscreatetomorrowtoday@gmail.com, and just pop in your name so I can I'll send you the questions. I'll send you the overview of things that you can look for. And if I can come up with a book title or something, I'll send you that to our website, but nothing comes to mind right now. And please feel free to email me as well and ask questions from now until then. I'll see you guys all on next Thursday. And I'm going to stop actually the recording.